didn't see the Ask Jameis hashtag blow up on social media last weekend, if you didn't, here are a couple. What's faster, your 40 time or the time it took for you to get from the crab leg section to your car? Peyton's Head said favorite animated crab, Sebastian from The Little Mermaid, or Mr. Krabs from SpongeBob SquarePants. Then Chris H. wondered, which had a more profound impact on American anti-British sentiment, the 1765 Stamp Act or the 1766 Declaratory Act? Cite examples. Bryant, that's easy for me to say. Say that 10 times real fast. Declaratory. All part of an interesting weekend in Tallahassee. Ray Crawford here with former Seminole and current member of the 120sports.com team in Bryant McFadden. What were your thoughts about that social media experiment gone wrong over the weekend?
Ultimate fail. First and foremost, whenever you give fans that maybe not fans of Florida State the opportunity to attack our best player, Heisman Trophy winner, Jameis Winston, you know you're going to get some not so good tweets, some negative tweets, and that's something that we saw because, you know, social media is an example for fans to attack athletes in any shape, fashion, or form. So you got Florida fans, you got Miami fans, you got Notre Dame fans. Any team that we'll be playing this season had opportunity attacking Jameis, so definitely ultimate fail in my opinion.
People were just waiting to attack, weren't they? In all seriousness, though, where do you see the need for the biggest improvement for Jameis Winston from year one as a starter to this year?
Being able to understand defenses and coverages. One thing about Jameis, his skill set and his athleticism presents a big challenge for any defense that he faces. So you cannot line up in a cookie cutter defense. If you line up in a cover 2, cover 3, Jameis will pick you apart. So one thing he has to understand now, defenses may attack him differently using disguises in blitz schemes and coverage schemes also. And with his ability of being able to dissect coverages and know the strength and the weakness will make him even a better quarterback than he was last year.
Well, in addition to the Ask Jameis fiasco on social media, Jimbo Fisher booted sophomore safety Jalen Ramsey from practice on Sunday for rough play. And Fisher told him to cool it. He didn't, and, well, I guess Fisher was anything but cool after the game with reporters. Listen.
It ain't typical. It's not what we're going to do. He was told not to do something, and he defied me. So we'll judge from there. And I'm very upset with him. It's lack of leadership. It's lack of character. He'll decide if he wants to play at Florida State.
All right, well, there you have it. The two have since talked. Ramsey didn't miss any practice time. He was right back out there on Monday. But as you look around and you follow college football as well, it doesn't seem a day that goes by that someone somewhere across the country is having a season-ending injury. Mm-hmm. How do you balance getting prepared for the upcoming season with safety?
You have to be smart. You have to be smart. You know, college football is a lot different than it was when I was playing. We was very, very physical. We had contact drills almost every day. Nowadays, they're kind of getting away from the contact drills, kind of taking it to the professional standpoint, you know, more so about mental reps, being able to have a successful practice without anybody hitting the ground. In Jalen's situation, he's a talented player, was a talented, outstanding freshman for us last year. He's a proven leader for this defense this year, and he should know better, like Jimbo says. And one thing about football, collegiate football, professional football, you don't get around the quarterback. You do not touch the quarterback, especially a Heisman Trophy winning quarterback. That is the ultimate written rule of football, and that's something that Jalen should know.
You never made Bobby Bowden mad, did you?
Oh, man.
Did you?
Unfortunately, yes, I had. I made Bobby mad one apparent time. I think it was my sophomore year. Of course, we had a big, huge Nike contract deal with Nike, and the written rule of Florida State, you don't tape your shoes unless you have an ankle injury. And I was a fashionable guy. I like to look good on the football field, so I decided to spat my shoes. I spat my shoes, my ankles, my whole shoes were covered with tape. Had an outstanding game. The next week of practice, Bobby Bowden called me down at the team meeting. He said, "Hey, Matt, did you tape your shoes?" I'm like, "Yes, Coach, I taped my shoes." "Why did you tape your shoes?" I said, "Coach, I wanted to look good." "Did you have an interception?" I said, "Yes, Coach, I had an interception." "Okay, put your helmet on." So I'm like, what I'm putting my helmet on? "Feet, belly." So he had me doing up-down drills, but it was not the usual up-down drills that I'm used to seeing. It was more so feet, belly. It was like, "Coach, what are you talking about?" So I literally did 3 up-downs. And he told me to go ahead and continue practice. I'm like, "Coach, you really wasted my time with that. I could have ran some hundreds, some gassers, but hey, you know, old-fashioned coach has old-fashioned ways. I love it."
He might have snuck a dadgummit in there as well.
Yeah.
I think many in college football already have Florida State kind of penciled in here, the college football playoff. But as you look at the schedule, where do you think there could be a stumble?
I have two. August 30th, that Oklahoma State game in a neutral stadium. Of course, Oklahoma State loses a quality amount of guys, but the same goes for us. We're going to have a young receiving core with the exception of Nick O'Leary and Rashad Green. So it's going to be a good opportunity to really prove ourselves worthy in that first game. And Oklahoma State, I expect for them to have a very, very good team. And that October 30th game at Louisville, Thursday night football. One thing about Florida State, for whatever reason, we always find ways to kind of have a hiccup on a Thursday night football contest. And as recent history shows, Florida State, I don't care what the season may look like, that Thursday night game, whether we're playing against an ACC foe or out of conference foe, it's always a tough outing. And I just had a conversation with Doug Chapman here at Campus Insiders, so we have a nice little lunch, dinner bet depending on that game. So hopefully we can kind of get a win out on that Thursday night.
Friendly wagers, we like those. Look forward to the season coming up. You can see them on 120sports.com. Get the app. It's one of the hottest out there. Bryant, thanks very much.
Oh, anytime.
Speaking of 120, our friends across the street hooked us up with some rookie interviews as last year's college hoop stars prepare for life in the league, including Marcus Smart. Shea Pepler has it for you here on CampusInsiders.com.